Hello friends, Assalamu alaikum. If you got an email from me directly with a link to this video, then I consider you a friend, a close friend, a confidant, someone I could share this video with. If you did not get it directly from me, but you got it from somebody else, it means that a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, extended this message to you, thinking and hoping that you'll be able to contribute to the conversation we want to have here. So, in that case as well, I consider you a friend, a close friend. Welcome to the discussion forum, and would love to hear your thought and your feedback as well. So, this message is about what has been going on with Pakistan, not just now, not just for the last 11 months, but for the last 75 years since we got our independence. In many areas, Pakistan has been going backwards. If you look at almost every major metric, we rank amongst the 10% of the worst countries in the world. Whether you look at infant mortality, you look at access to health care, you look at the rights of women, you look at the rights of minorities, you look at the religious freedom, you look at the social norms, you look at education, healthcare, technology, exports, manufacturing. Pakistan ha- is not doing well, and that's a huge understatement. So I'm an engineer by education. I've been working as a lead technology development manager executive over the last my whole career, in fact. So I said, how would I tackle this as a problem? I've gone to dozens of companies as a lead consultant, some of the biggest companies in the world. I've worked with them. And when you approach a company with a unique set of problems, you don't just say, you know what, I give up. This is just beyond my control. I just cannot do something. You come up with some kind of a strategy. So that's what this whole endeavor is about. So I began this initiative about in summer of 2022, and I did not reach out to you for a reason, even though I said earlier you are a good friend. I consider you a good friend, but I did not because obviously the first reaction would have been, "Are you nuts? Are you kidding? What are you on? Is it this is just not going to happen?" And for the right reasons. I think we'd all be justified in being very jaded. We are hurt, we are disappointed at the turn of the events. Even though we've got the country has got our loyalties, our faith, our heart bleeds for the country and for the people of the country right now, given what they're going through. But there's not really something that a group of people, a small group of people, could just come together, come up with a few ideas, wave a magic wand supposedly, and make something happen. So what do we do? So I really thought to myself, what is it that we could do? We've got two choices. A, and again, I'm speaking for myself here, do nothing, really do nothing. And then just like the last 25 years have gone by, the next 20, 75 years have gone by, the next 25 years, 30, 40, 50 years will also go by as well. Things will continue to go from bad to worse. And what can we do? Again, it's too big a task, too monumental a task. Or the second alternative is to maybe to come up with something, anything, anything that could potentially, maybe in certain areas, move the needle just a notch, just a bit. So with that, I came up with this model that I would attack 25 different areas, and by areas I mean education, healthcare, early childhood development, the legal reform, the political reform, the election reform, the human rights violation or lack thereof in Pakistan. All those different areas we have identified, and for all those areas, I've said that okay, we're not the first country in the world that is facing these challenges, these huge uphill challenges. Other countries have faced them. How did they tackle them? Many of them tackled them very successfully, and from the doldrums to where they were just half a generation ago, they were able to conquer mountains. So I said, why don't we take some of their best practices, some of the examples of those countries, and see what we could possibly do with those examples. Again, you don't just take somebody else's successful business model, take it as is, and try to apply that. You'll fall flat on your face. That's what we've learned in our business consultation for my whole career. You adopt some ideas, maybe some critical and key ideas, but then you adapt it based on what the ground reality is, based on the context, based on the people, based on the resources or lack thereof. You adapt the model, and then you come up with some kind of a time frame on how you would implement certain aspects of it. So again, very methodical, very professional approach we have taken, and we hope that it makes sense to you. So I did not share this message earlier with you, just to give us put enough of a structure together, so when I share with you, it will start making some sense. So I'm hoping that I'm now at a point where I can share some of the basic details with you, and get your thoughts and comments. I'm promising not the fact that I have got all the answers. I have not. Maybe in many cases, I'm more asking questions than I'm proposing the answers or the possible solutions. But at least those questions, I'm hoping, will lead us somewhere, take us to the right direction. So, where has Pakistan been over the last so many years? It's not just a story that we could lament about, that we could cry about how where we are right now, but we didn't get here overnight. We continue to decline downwards over the last generation. A lot of research that I have done is about the past, about what happened, not quite from the standpoint of pointing fingers, because that's the last thing you want to do when you are really in the throes of things, when you're trying to solve challenges. You don't want to alienate anyone. It's not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's all about trying to figure out where we are, how we have been here, what big pitfalls we could potentially avoid, and how we could go forward. So, what the forward path looks like, we're trying to come up with those. So, still, it's good for us to know where we have been in the past. In 1962, South Korea, remember, right after the North and South Korean War of the 1950s, they were in shambles. They had no resources, no. I think they were down to about a couple of millions in foreign exchange reserve. They had nothing going on within the country. A delegation came to Pakistan, and Pakistan shared with them Pakistan's a 5 year economic development plan. This is 1962. I'll produce in one of the presentations here a letter of acknowledgement that their ex-ambassador to Pakistan published just a few months ago. Read that. It's an absolute eye-opener. They're acknowledging what Pakistan has done for them just in that letter. Pakistan not just shared the plan with them, they sent a delegation to South Korea, giving them how to get this done. It's not just we're throwing a book at them, go ahead and do it yourself. We taught them how to do this. This is 1962. In 1988, 26 years later, South Korea, Seoul held the Olympics. In these 26 years, they were not only able to build the country, the infrastructure, the, the, the electric grid, the transportation network, the subway station for the main city, they were able to build a country, build a nation. And where do they stand now? They are amongst the largest semiconductor companies in the world. Name any top-notch brand in the world. Forget about top-notch. I mean, name any brand, any product in the world. Product cannot exist without South Korean contribution, either directly or indirectly. So that's where they are. In a few short years, China was going through famine, massive famines in the 1960s. People were dying, and guess see where they are now. In 2000, they held the Olympics, again a standard. Olympics is called, I consider them a standard, as a hallmark of we have arrived. Whatever is past we have gone through, we are now at a point where we can focus not just on the basic, the core survival, but we're going beyond the survival. So again, lots of things that Pakistan could have done. Pakistan did help other companies, other countries, but we did not apply the same model to ourselves. Emirates Airline, one of the leading airlines in the world right now. In early 1980s, PIA sent its own delegation to Dubai, pushed them out there for several years, trained their pilot, built the whole infrastructure, the whole operational infrastructure for them, and see where they are right now. I've also seen examples of Pakistan or PIA contributing to Singapore Airline. So Pakistan, as a country, I've made a statement earlier, has gone backwards. But Pakistanis, as individuals, as competent individuals, as professionals, they have done extremely well all over the world. So there's a dichotomy here, isn't there? There's a gap here. Pakistanis are flourishing, they're doing well no matter what industry we go in, whether academics or professional world or research, we do well. Whereas Pakistan as a country as a whole is going backwards. Why is that? Again, I said earlier, this is not about assigning blames, but maybe for, just between us as friends, we should at least acknowledge that it's the political leaders who have been running the country, the army leaders that have been running the country, they have taken over all of our resources. Is it a unfair statement to say that they have squandered away all the resources that we have while they have built their own personal wealth, personal empires all over the world. You've seen examples of those. I don't have to take names, we don't have to get into the details, but the fact is, Pakistan is where they are right now because of people's self interest, because people's self interest overrule what was good for the country. 2005 to 2006 timeframe, I was a part of a team based in Southern California, actually based in US, but predominantly in California. We were all engineers, and we came up with a strategy, with a plan. The plan was called Pakistan Vision 2020. So again, 15 years to go for the year 2020 for what Pakistan could do, and it was mostly on the development side of the things. So building the infrastructure, the road, the bridges, the irrigation, the high rises, the urban development. It was all geared around that. Very ambitious plan. Lots of obviously people pulled their resources, their heads together, came up with a very with an attractive plan. Again, no guarantee that the plan would have been successful or not. But what happened? When you tried to approach the government, the first question that was asked was there in it for me? Why should I support this program? Where's my 10%, 25%, 30%? Why would I endorse you and not somebody else? The plan clearly went nowhere. uh, the vision that we had, the dreams that we had, did not materialize. Pakistan was did not reach where they were. According to the plan, they could have reached by the year 2020. 2020 came and went. We've gone 3 years past that now, and see where we are. So, friends, here is the question that I'm asking you. The next 15 years will pass whether we do something or not. But the question is, if we do nothing, where do we see Pakistan 15 years from now? Look at just one area. Look at the population. Pakistan today stands at about 230 million people. With the population growth rate that we have, it's expected to reach about 300 million in the next 10 to 12 years. 12 years, a gain of 80 million people. Do the math. It's about 6 to 7 million people a year. That's a city the size of Los Angeles every year. Imagine trains, planes, buses. This crowd is arriving within the country every year. They'll ask you for food to eat. They'll ask you for water to drink. They'll ask you for a place to live. They'll ask you a place for the kids in the schools. They'll ask you for employment. They'll ask you for a hospital where they could go and get treated. Are we going to be able to provide it to them? Can we provide for ourselves right now? Let- uh, if we can, we could then talk about being able to provide food or sustainment to the people who are going to come here in the next few years. So here are the questions that I really want us all to put our heads together and try to address. What are our options? Do something or do nothing. I'm of the camp that let's do something. Other challenge that we've had with Pakistan is that not only I've made a statement earlier that politicians have had absolutely no interest in doing something for the country because their self-interest overruled what they could possibly have done for Pakistan. The media also, unfortunately, has played a rather negative role as well. Rather than proposing the right solutions and putting their energy and their muscle and the large megaphone that they have behind those initiatives and those ideas, they have taken political sides as well. They are into the bullet points, into the flashy news and the breaking news. So the sticker runs on the screens 24/7, looking at statements, continuing to play the same statements and the gotcha politics. They've been involved with that as well. And again, I'm not saying that what they're saying doing everything is right, everything is wrong. It's not a commentary on that, even though I've got a presentation here on the media reforms as well. The point is, who is there to look after Pakistan? Who is there to support these kinds of initiatives? So what I'm doing with this is I'm launching a program, I'm launching a website where I really want everyone, every educated, but eventually hopefully everyone, to come in and take a look at the presentation that we've got here. So here I invite you to, after this video is over, there's another video coming right behind where I'm going to describe all the 25 different modules that we have got, and I'm going to describe, outline the whole framework which I'm trying to develop here. Framework simply means we learn how to solve problems and not necessarily the problems that we are facing today. Problems will change from what we are facing today to something else, a completely different set of issues, challenges that we'll have a few years from now. So let's learn how to solve them. Let's learn how to address them. Let's learn how to define them. And then we could try to put on our creative hats, on the problem solving hats, and try to figure out how you would go about solving them. What resources would we need? How do you do it? The big vision, the small goals, step by step, roadmap. We build the roadmap. So, this is a burden I want to put on you and on your shoulders. Please watch the first few videos. Watch, in fact, as much of it as your time permits, and give me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. This video that you're watching right now, this is not going to be made public. This is just private between us as close friends. Just I'm sharing my own sort of limitations. Not in every area I could be an expert. Yes, I've read a few things. Yes, I may have some expertise, some competence in certain areas, but mostly I'm a learner by reading about the best practices. So I've done that. I've raised some questions, I've raised some possibilities, and I'm trying to document what could be some of the options for Pakistan. Look at those. Tell me if it makes sense. Maybe this is an area where I just glossed over, that area needed a lot more emphasis. Or maybe I'm spending far too much time in certain areas and certain types of expression, and you think this is just not called for, and maybe that's just diluting the topic. Give me your thoughts, give me your feedback. This is just a personal, individual effort right now. I want to make it now, take it now, and make it a group effort. Come and join the team. Come and give me your time, give me your expertise, give me your competence, and help me improve, help me revive the message. This is the area where I want to reach out to you and ask you for help. Other thing that you could do is bring in other people, other like-minded people, not just go blindly post it on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn page. That's not what I'm looking for at this stage. Maybe there'd be a right time for that, but not right now. Right now we're only trying to refine and fine-tune the message. Reach out to somebody else who thinks like you, who thinks like us, who'd be able, who'd be willing to come on board really in the problem solving capacity and come and give us some ideas, give us some suggestions. Let's extend the message to those as well. Another point is, this is not going to be an easy journey. This is, I mean, it's the biggest understatement of the year. It's going to be a very, very tough, very monumental task, unsurmountable at many levels. But we got to try somewhere, right? So if that's the premise of it, then yeah, there'll be people who'll be saying you're wasting your time, and maybe it might end up that we're wasting our time. But let's not approach it with the idea that it will not work. Let's acknowledge that's going to be difficult, but let's try to find a way to make it work. If I'm saying Pakistan has got a lot of possibilities if you can get our act together in just two areas, let's say healthcare and technology export. If you can do this looking at all the ideas which I'm proposing in these sections here, let's figure out that hey, maybe out of the five ideas, first two are completely baseless. Let's not spend our time and effort on those. Three maybe has some potential. Four and five, they are likely. Let's start off with those. Great. That's the feedback that I would love to get from someone who's knowledgeable about the subject matter and who can give us some thoughts and some feedback. That's kind of a feedback I want. Not that it cannot be done, not that it will not be done, not that we don't have the resources, but let's find resources. Let's find the will first of all, and then the avenues and then the possibilities to make something happen. So I wanted this to be a quick 5 to 7 minute introduction to this series of videos. It's gone way too long. My apologies for taking up so much of your time. But this is important. This is coming from the heart. This is coming really just sharing with you as a friend. Uh, Good 10 months, 9 to 10 months of literally 24/7. This thought has been consuming me, and I've been working on this on the side, obviously, along with main job and living a life and being a family person. Just working on this on the side, and a few weeks back, I just began to record some videos and get the presentation and get all the whole presentation side of it. I've done quite a lot of work, as you can see in the next few minutes, that's already gone into it. And I would love to now put the ball in your court. Please take a look at it and give me your thoughts and feedback. Okay, so I request for you to please watch the next video, which will give you an overview of the program. All right. Thank you again so much once again for your time and for your attention. And I really, really want to see you on the next video and hopefully to join hands with you as we continue on this journey. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.